Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to be solving quadratic equations by factoring. Remember that when you solve, you are really finding the x-intercepts the roots, the zeros, and the solutions of the quadratic equation you're solving. Your x-intercepts are when y is equal to 0. Let's review what the number of solutions look like on a graph. When you have two solutions, or two roots, two zeros, remember that means you have two x-intercepts. So that means your parabola will cross the x-axis twice. You have one solution. That means the parabola only touches the x-axis once. That means the vertex is not only the vertex to the quadratic function, but it's also the solution, the only root, and the only x-intercept. Now, when you have no solution, that means your parabola does not touch the x-axis at all. That means it is floating in your coordinate plane completely away from the x-axis. In this case, we would say there are no real roots because it doesn't touch the x-axis. When solving a quadratic equation by factoring, we're going to use something called the zero product property. Before going into what the zero product property is, let's review the multiplication property of 0. If x times y equals 0, then x or y equals 0. Or another way to say it is they both equal 0. So in the example 3x equals 0, x must equal 0. 4 times y equals 0, so y must equal 0. In the example 2x times x minus 4 equals 0, 2x must equal to 0, and x minus 4 equals 0. This example right here is what the zero product property is. When you multiply two polynomials together and you set them equal to 0, both of them must be equal to 0, and then you may find both of the solutions separately. Now let's get into some examples. In this case, we have x plus 4 times x plus 5 equals 0. So that means we can set each binomial equal to 0 separately and then solve using the zero product property. In this case, we're going to use inverse operations, and we find that towards the left here, x will be equal to negative 4, and then towards the right here, x equals to negative 5. Now, there are a couple ways that we could write our solutions. We can write them as ordered pairs. Remember that the solutions are your x-intercepts, so we can write them as an ordered pair representing an x-intercept. So we can say that one solution is negative 4, 0, the other solution is negative 5, 0, or we can list them in set builder's notation by saying x equals negative 5, negative 4. Remember, we always put them in least to greatest order. Please try the two other examples on this page. Pause the video. After completing example 2, using the zero product property, you should find that your two solutions for x should be negative 7 and negative 3. Make sure you add that x equals in there. Then for example 3, after solving using the zero product property, you should find that your two solutions are x equals negative 5/2 and 2/3. Now we're going to take a look at some examples where we are solving using factoring and the zero product property. When solving quadratic equations by factoring, we want to make sure that the equation is in standard form, which again is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. We want to factor the quadratic equation, and we're going to go over and review the 4 different types of factoring we learned this year. Then you are going to use the zero product property to solve. This means set each factor equal to 0 and solve. Now let's review factoring using greatest common factor. You'll notice that in example 4, our quadratic equation is not in standard form, so I'm quickly going to subtract 5x on both sides to get that equation into standard form here. So I'm going to have x squared minus 5x equals 0. Now looking at the left-hand side of our quadratic function here, you'll notice that both terms, x squared minus 5x, share a greatest common factor of x. So I'm going to factor that out. Then once factoring that out, I am left with x minus 5. Now I'm going to use that zero product property to split and solve. So my first factor I'm going to set equal to 0, and I'm going to find that x equals 0. Then I'm going to set that second factor equal to 0 and find that x equals to 5. So the two solutions for x in this case will be 0 and 5. Now we're going to use the basic trinomial factoring method. So we're going to identify what c equals, and in this case c is equal to 12, so I'm going to put that at the top part of my x here. Then my middle term b is negative 7. Now let's think of two terms that will multiply to 12 but add to negative 7, and right off the bat you should be thinking negative 3 and negative 4. So our factors here are x minus 3 and x minus 4. We again are going to use that zero product property and set each factor here equal to 0. So solving each factor now, you should find that your two factors, or your two solutions after using the zero product property, are 3 and 4. The next method that we're going to review is what we call the slip and slide trinomial, or another way you could call this is factor by grouping. Alright, so again, our quadratic is not in standard form, so I'm quickly going to put it in standard form for sake of time. Let's look at what the product of a and c are. In this case, our product is negative 10, and our middle term b is negative 3. So what two factors can we replace this middle term with that will multiply to negative 10 but add to negative 3? In this case, you should be thinking of the factors negative 5 and positive 2. So we are going to replace that middle term with positive 2x and negative 5x. Now that we have 4 terms, we can factor by grouping. Our first group is 2x squared plus 2x, and our second group is negative 5x minus 5. Sorry, there was a slight typo there. Now, when we find the greatest common factor of our first group, we'll note that it is 2x, so after factoring out 2x, I am left with x plus 1. Then the GCF of my second group here is negative 5, so I'm left with x plus 1. After factoring using common binomial, my factors are 2x minus 5 and x plus 1. Now I can use that zero product property to find my zeros of this function. So I'm going to have 2x minus 5 equals 0 and x plus 1 equals 0. So you should find that x equals to negative 1, and then x equals to positive 5 halves. Lastly, we are going to solve by factoring using the method of the difference of squares. So again, I'm quickly going to put this into standard form. Remember, the difference of two squares should be in the format ax squared plus c, which is what we have here. Now there are a couple conditions. We need to make sure that both of these terms have coefficients or a constant that are perfect squares, which we do. We have 4 and 25, which are both perfect squares. Obviously, there needs to be a subtraction sign in between the two terms here, which we have, and we need to make sure that all of our variables have a positive exponent. So now we are going to essentially take the square root of each term separately, and we'll find that we have 2x plus some number, 2x minus some number equals to 0. When we take the square root of 25, that second number in both of these terms is 5. One will be positive 5, the other one will be negative 5. Now we are going to use the zero product property to solve. We get 2x plus 5 equals 0 and 2x minus 5 equals 0. So we should find that x equals negative 5 halves and positive 5 halves. That is it for this lesson. Please go back to my teacher page and continue on with the practice and exit ticket. See you next time.